Good morning or good afternoon, hockey fans. So we are back, and what we are doing today. We did not get this video up yesterday because of scheduling conflicts between me and my brother. So what we did is we are gonna end up filming 2 videos today, despite knowing the outcome of Game 5. So this is the Game 4 review. There's still quite a lot to talk about and quite a few interesting opinions to get to on Game 4. So we thought, honestly, it's better to do it in 2 separate videos. Yep. But do be aware there will be a Game 5 video later today, so you can probably be sure to watch both. That would be fantastic. So, Carter, you saw the majority of this game.
Yeah, majority of Game 4. I didn't see much of Game 5, but here, I wrote some notes and I put them on here.
Yeah, do so.
Yeah. First thing I noticed was Tampa right out of the gates. They were showing their physical strength on Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they were going into the corners, they were grinding through each battle, and they were winning puck battles. And they got like a kind of early rush.
Yeah. Do you think that it helps a lot with the new the new guys they've acquired since last year's run to really add grit? Like they've grabbed Blake Coleman,
Bogosian.
Barclay Goodrow, Bogosian,
Yeah,
healthy
yeah.
scratch.
Bogosian for Novus.
Who's the other? Patrick Maroon.
Yeah.
Guys like that.
Yeah, especially like for example, if you watch the way Pat Maroon played last year against the Jets, that killed us.
And Dallas.
That killed our team. And yeah, and Dallas.
Yes.
So.
Here. Dobby's back in the net after
Yeah.
giving up a lot in Game 3, which honestly I understand though, because you know what, if for one, this was a pivotal game in the series. Game 4 is always pivotal, no matter what, because it is the first game at any series where there's a chance that it could be an elimination game if a team is up 3-0, but also it is the deciding factor whether most likely a series goes either 3-1 or 2-2. Because if you're playing in a 3-1 series, you are backed up against the wall. I saw this the other night. No team has ever come back from 3-1 down in the Stanley Cup Finals since 1942. The war hadn't ended yet in 1942. That is a long time. But yeah, like honestly, I felt like Dobby was obviously the right pick to start the game.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
I mean, the reason he was taken out of the game before was just like
your team sucks. Come
they
home.
were leaving him out to dry, and he doesn't deserve to sit through that. Like, just put Ottinger in maybe.
Well, they had him in for the third period. They had Ottinger in.
Yeah. Dallas, no shots 5 minutes into the game. Like I was saying, Tampa right out of the gates was kind of controlling play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, and so that leads us to our first goal of the game. John Klingberg scores on it's a lot like the Kiviranta goal in Game 1, actually, where it's a seemingly nothing play where the player just comes in, shoots it, it's blocked by the defender. However, right after it is blocked,
that was
the rebound goes right back to Klingberg.
Got his own rebound.
Yes. And scores to make it 1-0 Dallas, which held for quite a while. However, then shortly after that, or not shortly after that, Jamie Alexiak interferes with Kucherov. This has been a problem for Jamie Alexiak.
Yeah.
He had a great Game 1 where he I think scored the game winner actually in Game 1. But since then, he has not been able to find space on the ice, like proper amount of space on the ice, because he's just running into guys. And when you're as tall as Jamie Alexiak, like,
you just start running. You're
well, you should know this.
Yes, well, of course.
Yes. Exactly. Like, then that is going to happen. Now, this will eventually lead to my highlight of the day, for me personally. So, people have been asking me, oh yeah, well, Sagan's struggling, Sagan's maybe playing hurt. So what do you want from him? I don't want him on the same line as Jamie Benn and Alexander Radulov. I want, and I said it by name, and I told you this, and I got so hyped when it happened. I'm like, put Joe Pavelski out there. Put Pavelski with Alexander Radulov and Jamie Benn.
And I think Pavelski then scores.
Captain USA from Ben and Radulov near the end of the period to make it 2-0 Dallas. That was huge. However, that did not last long. 30 seconds later, Braden Point decides he would like a chance at scoring tonight.
Was this the pass across?
Yes,
Yeah,
a
this was
beautiful play.
Beautiful pass from Platt.
They sent...
He waited for him to get right behind the defenseman, and then he fires it, and by that point, it's Braden Point. He's gone.
And Kevin Bieksa pointed this out. Kevin Bieksa, by the way, pretty decent defenseman. Really solid analyst. I like him as an analyst. But, like, what Tampa did on this play was they threw 4 of their guys on the left side, and then it put Point on the right. So it made it look like all the pressure was going to go up the ice on the right. So only Jason Dickinson, I believe, was covering Braden Point. Dickinson is a forward, not a defenseman, so he's not usually used to having to transition as much on a dime like a defense has to. So Braden Point just catches him sleeping at the wheel and then goes in and just fires
right past him,
Yeah. So, and this ultimately leads to a 2-1 Dallas lead after 1. Andrei Vasilevsky was 1 for 3 in the first period. He was with a save percentage of 0.33. That's bad.
Pathetic.
But that's the thing. Like, that's the problem when you play on too good of a team as a goalie. You don't get shots often, but usually when you do, it's from a team that either is shooting from way outside, so it's an easy save, or it doesn't even make it to the net. Or it's because there's been a total breakdown and lapse in judgment, and now there's a prime goal-scoring opportunity, and you're shooting on a Chili McFreeze cold goalie in the net because he hasn't got a shot in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So, second period, Alexiak, again, penalty.
Yeah. Yeah, this is where he was, he's got to let go of the stick there.
100%.
Like, it gets caught in his legs, and at that point...
Drop it.
At that point, just drop it, because if you hold on to it any longer, he's going to, like, step on the stick blade, he's going to do something like that, and he's going to go down.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, it happens, it's happened to everybody I know that has ever played hockey.
It's happened to me.
Yeah, you're a goalie, it's happened to you.
So I don't like when it happens to me.
Of course you do.
But anyway,
I don't think anyone likes
what does this lead to, Carter? A story we've seen quite often with the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Oh yeah, this was a weird one. This was
Braden Point scoring on the power play.
Was this like the one from behind the
This
net?
is, so, I believe it's Killorn. I could be wrong, might be Pilat or something like that. He flings it to the front of the net, and Braden Point just says, yup, and pretty much just bunts the ball 5-hole on Anton Hudobin to tie it up on the power play because, and I'm going to say this right now, Dallas's penalty kill is killing their team this series. They take too many penalties, and don't get me wrong, they give up a lot of shots in general, but when you give up a lot of shots and are shorthanded while doing it, your odds of surviving that attack goes down significantly.
And Tampa's power play is kind of insane.
Yes, it's just stacked.
It is a stacked power play.
Yeah. So, like...
Want to go third period?
Well, there's one more, I think. Because, so I have to be honest here, I didn't see the total end. I went back and saw the highlights, so I know a bit, but I only stayed till about this end of the second. And so, I saw, so, for anybody wondering, but Zach, if Seguin isn't playing with Jamie Benn and Alexander Radulov, who's he playing with? Corey Perry. And anybody who's watched Game 5 knows how important that is. But for Game 4 purposes, this helped Seguin get back into a rhythm. Seguin still hasn't scored to this date, including Game 5 statistics, in the finals. Yeah. However,
we thought he scored in Game 4.
I know. I was
didn't touch him.
Yeah, I was at a restaurant and I look up and I'm like,
was that Pavelski that scored that one?
Yes, because it just...
I was about to say, because when I first saw it, I'm like, did Tyler Seguin finally score? And I was like, oh, no, didn't touch him, but...
So, Seguin makes a great drive to the net, and then Vasilevsky stops him, but then he flings the puck around Vasilevsky's body, right to the goal mouth, and Perry it's a tap-in. Does Anton Hudobin scare you behind the net?
Yes.
Yes, 100%.
Honestly,
Hudobin,
to a certain extent, any goalie scares me behind the net.
Yes.
The main thing that I will say about some goalies is that, and this is one thing I know even as a player, the thing I hate the most is when the goalie goes behind the net, stops it, but then waits there. Like as a defenseman, if my goalie's going behind the net, I want him stopping the puck and getting out of there. Because I've had too many times where I'll be going behind the net, trying to pick up the puck, and I'm trying my best not to hit my own goalie, but he's just standing there.
Well,
so
you're a skating mountain, is what it is. Here's the problem with the plays behind the net. It's almost like when the goalie gets behind the net, all of a sudden English doesn't work anymore. He's kind of like if I ever get behind the net, it does not happen often, but when it does, it's terrifying. But when I'm behind the net, I'm like this. I'm like, well, okay, I'm not a defenseman, so this should probably get off my stick real quick. But also, too, it's like, you look at a defenseman, and the defenseman's like, okay, so is he going to pass to me? Is he going to pass to the other guy? Does he expect me to go get it? What's happening here? And no communication is made effectively at all.
yeah, and Hudobin.
And it's just like, and it just becomes
a couple times where it looked like he was just kind of fumbling with
He looked like he was almost on the verge
then
of
he'd have to
covering it
dive in
behind
front
the
of
net. Yeah.
And then he'd have to dive in front of the net and pray that
Yeah.
the puck hits him. Like,
Please, hockey gods, don't go in my net. But like it honestly, behind the net, it becomes a game of. That's it. There's none of. If they're screaming, they're just like, get it back, get it back, get it back. That's it. So, another thing I did notice, Cogliano has had a lot of scoring chances for Dallas.
yes.
And he hasn't scored on any of them. He has like a 19-game goal-scoring drought, which...
19 games, really?
Yeah, it's up
that
there.
bad?
It's up there. I don't think he's scored this playoffs. But he's been so close so many times. But like, yeah, so do you want to just get the ring off? So this is where our review gets a little shorter.
Yeah, not a whole lot I got for the third period, but I did. Well, let's talk about the main thing that a lot of people have been talking about.
Can I just say the goals first?
Well, yeah,
before
yeah,
the last one.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You know exactly what I'm going to be
saying.
saying.
So, yes, I do. Yanni Gourde will score on the power play to make it their second power play goal of the game
And
to
again,
tie it.
like we were saying, Tampa is so good on the power play.
Yes.
And when Dallas is playing those games where they're just giving up penalties and giving up penalties and giving up penalties, Tampa is going to capitalize on that.
Mm-hmm. Tampa will then score to make it a 4-3 lead. Pavelski will then score from Tyler Seguin to tie it at 4-4. And it's funny because if anybody who watched Game 5 will know, Pavelski to tie it to send it to overtime. How about that? But then we get to the overtime.
Yeah, before we get there, did Ben take the penalty in overtime? Or?
Yep.
Okay.
Because the goal that was scored in overtime
was on
the power play.
Yeah, true.
What do you think? So Jamie Benn, for the record, I believe.
That's a tripping penalty.
Who did he do it on? Was it Tyler Johnson?
I'm not sure.
I think it. We missed one thing.
We missed the Perry and Point ordeal.
So here's the thing: Corey Perry is having a great playoffs. That does not give him the right to spear a man in the crotch. That doesn't give anyone the right.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be frankly honest. I know Dallas. I know I've seen a lot of Dallas fans complaining about that Jamie Benn call, but there is no denying that when Corey Perry speared him in the groin and Point got another penalty,
embellishment,
got an embellishment, a coincidental penalty.
What could he embellish? What is going on in their minds?
They got away with one there.
Yeah.
They really did. As honestly, I'm lucky.
A spearing is a 4-minute minimum penalty.
I was about to say, I would not give that 2-2. I would give that 4-0.
Yes.
Point deserves nothing. I don't know if any
Except
of
the
those
jock strap to keep him safe.
I don't know if those refs have ever taken his spear in the groin, but it doesn't feel nice.
Just a puck in the arm.
Just a puck in the arm.
Yeah, but
I thought that should have deserved
that
4
was
minutes
bad.
there.
Like
that
any
was
of you,
bad.
any of you that were talking about how Kucherov was such a sore loser against the Islanders when he
Yeah, but this
took
is
when
Corey
he hit.
Perry. This
But
is-
just listen. When he speared Pajot, Corey Perry did the same thing, and then made the other guy take a penalty for it. He didn't make the other guy take a penalty, but he received no consequence for it. So
Yeah, that was...
now let's get to the Jamie Benn penalty. Jamie
call.
Benn, the lumberjack of Dallas, was very upset that he received a tripping penalty or an interference. I think it was interference. They called it.
Tripping.
Did they?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was
I'm not sure if it was
tripping.
interference or tripping.
It was tripping.
But it was a trip.
It was...
And Joe
the
Pavelski
main
was
thing
even
I
like, Joe
noticed-
Pavelski was like, well, he breathes on him and he falls over. No.
The thing I noticed about that, and it almost kind of looks similar to his slew foot. Now, I think he got his stick under there more than his skate, but he's got his arm in front like this. He got his leg behind. He's got his stick behind. Like,
Yeah.
that's a recipe for disaster.
Like, do you guys remember when you were in school, all you youngins, and you'd have that thing where you would be like to your friend, you'd push your friend, and one guy would be behind your friend going like this, waiting for him to fall over? Jamie Benn did that without a partner because he went like this, which was like pushing him in the chest, and pulled him back, and then with his stick he went like this, which is like your friend getting ready to fall over him onto the ground. He did that all his own, and he got a 2-minute penalty for
Pretty
it,
close to his slew foot.
which he deserved.
He
Well,
totally
here's the
deserved.
thing.
No, he doesn't
slew
quite.
footing
He doesn't
is
quite sweep the leg the
Yeah.
same way that.
like a
others-
Marchand
like
has
a, like
done
a
it.
Marchand slew
Yeah.
foot.
And here's the thing. People be like, well, it's not slew footing, you did it with stick. Okay, so here's the thing. Slew footing is a version of tripping. Just in essence. Because you are tripping the guy's legs out from under him. The only
With your
difference
own leg.
is that you are tripping him from the back, which means he's more susceptible to falling at an awkward angle.
And
Just like
that can be dangerous
just like
for
how Joe
concussions.
Pavelski did last year when he tripped over Paul Stastny's leg. Because he was falling backwards where you can't protect your head as well from falling and receiving damage. And the NHL has begun to crack down on things that rely on any head contact. So when you trip someone from behind, it means that you are at risk of making head contact with the ice, which hurts. Now, the thing is that if a slew foot is a modified trip, what does it mean if you do that method without the foot behind the guy's leg? You can call it technically either way, but at the end of the day, it is still a penalty. A penalty does not become not a penalty because you did it in a different place. Boarding is still boarding whether you hit a guy head first into his bench or into the corner. It doesn't matter how you do it, it just matters the result. And
Yeah.
say what you will about officiating in the Stanley Cup Finals, but there are certain things you can't miss. And don't get me wrong, I firmly believe that Dallas is in no place to argue about penalties that should not have been called when they spear a man in the groin and the guy
Completely get away
in
scot-free.
unimaginable pain gets a penalty for embellishing it. So like, I don't know, that's all I gotta say on that.
I think that was the right call.
Yeah.
Honestly, this series, like, you're always going to hear from the fans that are diehard fans of either team of this call was bad, this call was bad, this call was bad, sort of thing. I think the reffing's actually been pretty good. I think it's been.
Well,
I
like
think it's been fine.
it's been decent.
I think there's a
and
few
Dallas
things
fans
that
that
have
are
been
mad. You know what's another reason reason you should be mad? Your penalty kill sucks. You gave up 3. Their penalty kill was what I normally see power play percentages. Their penalty kill was at 25%. They gave up 3 power play goals in this game and lost 5-4. That's why you lost, because you couldn't stay out of the box.
Yeah. So, what do you think of the Shattenkirk goal, that last one?
Good. There's no chance for Hodobin. It was a great screen in front.
Yeah.
Good shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, and so that's going to do it for this game. I think you said I will do the next one because
Yeah,
you missed it.
I saw basically the second overtime
Yes.
period, and that's it.
And
So,
I will be
you saw
back
the whole game, so I'm gonna
for
let you, do
the
that.
Game 5 review, which will be coming shortly. Thank you for watching. Always like, share, subscribe, and comment below if you want. And we thank you for always watching.